Hi, today I want to take you with me on a small panda safari. I recently went to the internet to look for some interesting watches and I came across these on the website of Pagani Design. I think most of us know what kind of brand Pagani Design is. It is a brand that does homages or almost carbon copies, legal carbon copies of well-known watches. And they do it quite well in that they have quite a good quality to offer for little money. I never was that into Pagani Design watches because of the diameter of the cases they have to offer. I think all the watches this far have had cases that were bigger than 40 millimeters, and I have small wrists, as in 14.5 centimeters to 15.5 centimeters small on a warm day. Yeah, so everything above 40 really doesn't do anything for me, and I rather stay below 39 millimeters. So I was really pleased to notice that these watches had a diameter case of about 39 millimeters, a little bit under even. And I was thinking, well, since I'm not going to buy any moonswatch, I might as well buy these three and have a look at them. So I first bought the gray one, and I thought it was really nice. It is really nice for a couple of reasons. Of course, the diameter of the case is small, which is a good thing for me, but also the Milano bracelet, which is made of metal, it fits my wrist really well. And that's a very nice thing, because that doesn't happen very often with metal bracelets. It also has quite a nice quality to it. It is quite stiff to the side, so it doesn't flex that much, as you can see. It doesn't pull any hairs, which is also a big plus, because I have quite some hairs on my wrist, and that usually can be quite of a nuisance. And as I said, it does fit remarkably well. That's also one of the reasons I bought the other ones after this one on the same bracelet. The quality of the watch is quite outstanding for what I have paid. I paid some 80-90 euros for it. And if you have a look at the crystal, you might see that there is... Can I have it focused? Yeah, on the crystal. It has quite a nice, thick and domed crystal to it. So on the white background you can't see it that well, but there is a slight dome on the crystal. The crystal has a nice AR coating, which is not really overdone. I don't like it when all my watches seem to be blue for some reason. But this one has a nice color that works with the dial. And the gray scheme of the dial is very legible. It is quite simple as well. There is not much difference in finishing on the dial itself. The gray is matte, the subdials have a matte finish, and there is a little bit metallic shine to the white rim of the watch. But everything together, I really like it. Now, if you have a look at the side of the watch, you can see that there is some brushed finish over there, and most of the watch is polished. Also, it's polished on top of the lugs, but in between the lugs, it is finished. Its finish is brushed again. So, you have these nice pushers with this texture. It has a signed crown, and according to the website, it should have a 100-meter water resistance, but here it says 200 meters, so I don't know what I should go by. And here you can see the reference number of the watch. It's a PD1739. Now, of what watch is this a carbon copy / homage? It is a carbon copy or a homage of the Furlan Marri, Mr. Grey, with reference number 1041A. And it looks pretty much the same as this watch. Of course, that probably is a much better watch or has some other qualities to it that this one doesn't have, because at least it's original and it is more expensive, of course. It is a watch that has been discontinued, and the Furlan Marri of itself is also a quartz watch, as is this one. I have noticed it before, but I will in a moment. And that one is a homage to the Pattek Phillipe 1463, which is quite an expensive watch if you want to buy it, as in house expensive. This watch runs on a Seiko VK63 mecha quartz. It's quite a nice movement. It has a battery life of about 3 years, and it functions quite a lot like a mechanical piece. So you have this pusher that really has a nice mechanical feel to it. I don't know how they did that. You see the sweeping second hand. I don't know how many ticks it is each second, but I think it's 3 to 5 or something like that. And it puts back to 0 in the same fashion as a mechanical watch. So this one is the gray version. Now, after I bought the gray version, I also bought the blue version, and I was really, really in love with this one. I really like this color. I actually wasn't planning on buying another blue watch because there are already too many blue watches on the market, but this one has a blue jeans grayish look to it, and I really like it. What I also like is that the watch itself doesn't have a sunburst in the dial, in the main dial, I would say. It is brushed, so the light plays in a different fashion on the dial than what you would normally get. The AR coating is almost of the same bluish gray color as the dial, which really, they dance together quite well, I would say, in the light. Then you have the subdials, and the subdials have a sunburst, which makes it into a nice playful watch to look at, much more than what you would have with the gray one. With the gray one you get really good legibility, and you get some playfulness in the different kind of gray tones you will have, but this one plays with the light. And that's a really nice and shiny watch to look at. The other things are just the same, so it has the same brushing, it has the same polishing, it has the same finish. This one, the blue one, is a copy of the Mare Blue 1051A from Furlan Marri. And yeah, it runs by the same reference code as the other one for the Pagani Design store. So they're all PD1739 watches. The last one is very interesting. I like it. However, I don't like the maroon. But for some reason, I had to have it, and I really like the combination of the maroon and the salmon. I really like the salmon color on this watch. And for some reason, I don't understand why it works together with the maroon quite well. The legibility of this watch is rather poor, I would say. You can hardly make out the numbers on the subdials. So it's not it's not really easy to read. On the edge, the ring on the edge is better, but still it is hard. It's hard to read, but I think this would be a wonderful watch for during the summertime. And the salmon is really popping out of this watch. And it kind of works with the maroon. I don't like the maroon that much, and I think it's not really convenient, but it works for some reason. This one is a carbon copy of the Furlan Marri Havanna Salmon with reference number 1031A. And yeah, I like it. Now, as a comparison, I brought my trusted Seagull 1963, and which is also kind of a homage, you could say, because the original isn't produced anymore. But this reissue is the smaller version. It's the 38mm or 37? I don't know actually. At least what I want to say is the case back of this one is a little bit smaller of the Seagull, but the dimensions are quite the same. You could even say that the Seagull has a bigger lug to lug. If I put them side by side like this, then you see that the lugs of the Seagull extend a bit further. It's not that much, but it's a small bit. The cases are also quite similar in design. There you have this ridge on the bezel. You don't have that with the Seagull. But they are comparable, I would say, in many respects. Both also have the same sweeping motion. In the second hand. The difference is that this one has 24-hour subdial, and this one only have a normal seconds and 30-minute subdial on the other side. So the layout is a little bit different. And if you put them to 0, it almost feels the same, which is interesting because this one, of course, this one is a mega quartz, and the Seagull is actually a quite nice mechanical movement. So there you have it. This was my panda galore, and yeah, I really can advise people who have small wrists like I have to have a look at these watches, because they are remarkable quality and together with a remarkable fit for a quite nice price. So, thank you very much and bye bye.